All right, everybody. Candace Byrd Davis and Stanecia Graham back. Sorry about the technical difficulties, but we are live and in living color again. So, Stanecia, can you hear me loud and clear?
I can definitely hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So, listen, everybody, as you're getting back on, go ahead and say hello again. Candace Byrd Davis with none other than Stanecia Graham, just coming to you guys with a live Q&A tonight. And like I said before, because I deleted the last one, just Stanecia, I truly honor you and I salute you just for coming to this Facebook Live, because you are a globetrotter traveling the world. So no matter what, you still find some time to get on and share some nuggets with people. So I just want to tell you, thank you for a girlfriend.
Well, I want to tell you thank you, because you are a super mom, and I know you got kids and you're married and all of that. And so it's never easy to be able to balance this business stuff that you're doing, as well as, keeping it right at home. So you just as bomb as I am. But
Girl, the struggle is real. No. So we have some people jumping on. So Patricia Wright says hello. Lisa Toll Roberts says, hey, sweet ladies. Hello, ladies. Everybody's saying hello. So hi, everybody. But we're going to go ahead and get started just because we had a little bit of a delay. And, this is going to be a live Q&A. So Stanecia agreed that we would do like a live Q&A just to share with everybody. And, before we kick it off, I just want you to have an understanding of where everybody comes from. So like Stanecia, I know you travel the world, you do some amazing things. And for those people who are outside of our current business, who don't know you, like Stanecia is one of the youngest millionaires in Total Life Changes, literally documented millionaire. There's some people who, will say they're a millionaire, but she's literally with documentation. So Stanecia, my question to you is, you're so young and you've had so much success early on. Like I know when we were part of a prior company, you were one of those multiple six-figure earners. You were one of the top earning women in that company, one of the most powerful women in that company, just killing the game like always. And then you come over to Total Life Changes and you do the same thing. So how were you able to go from one company to another when that one closed down, to come into a new company and still kill the game? What was the number one tool that you used to be able to kill the game with it?
It's a factor of many things. I've always, paid attention to people who were successful, and I've never, been too prideful to copycat, they say it, rob and duplicate. Whenever I seen someone who was successful, I took, my success comes from bits and pieces of a lot of people. And so I never stopped learning. I never stopped growing. I've never, even to this day, think that I know everything. And my entire day, for the most part, is always looking for more knowledge and more wisdom that I can use to enhance myself to become better. So, I always say success got a little bit of luck inside of it. Some Christians will call it, favor. But besides that, I just always have seeked wisdom, and I have never been afraid to copycat. Like I've never been afraid to copycat. And if I see someone that's successful, then I want what they have. And y'all always know that I say this, I've never been afraid to pay for wisdom. Look, if I'm smart, if I'm the smartest person in the room, I'm going to always win. So I just always kept myself attached to people who knew more than I knew, or knew different topics better than I did. And I tried to seek all the knowledge and wisdom that I could get from them.
I love it because, you said if you're the smartest person in the room, I'm like, if I'm the smartest person in the room, then I'm in the wrong room.
Absolutely. Now move around. Absolutely.
I don't want to be in that room. I need to go into a room with Stanecia Graham. So, with all of your success, what would you say the number one tool that you used contributed to your success? Like, how did you build business after business and still dominate it?
I did it completely, and a lot of people, have a hard time to grasp this, but I literally did it 100% on the internet. Every single thing that I've done that comes to building a network marketing business, I did it completely on social media. I was very consistent. You'll hear a lot of people who use social media say this. I was very consistent. There was always a clear message of what I was trying to demonstrate to people. If you go on my page 3 or 4 years ago, I always said that I wanted to have a lot of money online. I wanted to be able to retire my mom. I remember there would be some nights I would stay up to 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, or not even sleep, for 2 and 3 days because I was on the internet exposing myself. And I tell people all the time, and I know like a lot of seasoned network marketers think that, you know, it's not possible to build on the internet.
Right.
And I can understand that because there is a certain level of intimacy that people want from people. It's a touch base, but with the way that the world has changed and it's being 2018, Candace, I've seen you at TLC events, but as much as we talked on the computer and through, I feel like I know you. Like,
right.
You know, you can see some people when you finally meet them online. Like we've been best friends for the last 10 years. I never seen you before. So I took the same principles that I call them whys. It's nothing wrong. All type of ways work for network marketing, but I took the same principles from our elite people in network marketing, and I just pretty much applied them to social media, and it's done well for me. It's been a blessing for me. I love social media. You know, I tell my team all the time, it's no reason why you're not exposing yourself to people every single day. And with the internet, you're able to do that with ease.
Absolutely. So you said something key, like you exposed yourself through social media, Stanecia, and you know, last month, you walked across the stage getting your $1 million ring earner just for what you've been able to do online. And you said 100% of your business was built online. So what was your starting point? Like, what made you decide, and how did you go about starting your business online? Like, what were the maybe top 3 things that you did to ensure that you were able to be a social media success with your business?
Well, so when we talk about, you know, a lot of people think internet people, especially me, I'm someone who always preach copy and paste. So it's kind of like it's not really a mental maturity or personal development that's needed to be successful on the internet, but that's completely false. And so one of the first things for me to have a successful business on the internet, guys, was that I studied the same rah-rah that people don't like at offline meetings. You still need it online in order to be successful. The rah-rah is needed. And so one of the things, you know, that I always study very strongly is the fact that what do the people want? And the average person is looking for someone to inspire and motivate them. The average person wants to be inspired. The average person is looking for a leader to lead them to the promised land. So, you know, when I was brave enough to put myself on the forefront to say, you know, when I'm 25 or 26 years old and say, I'm going to make $1 million on the internet, I was willing to put myself out there like a fool, right? Like, you know, come on, Stanecia. Nobody's making $1 million on the internet. I was willing to put myself out there on a worldwide platform to say, you know what? I am going to be successful online. I'm going to show y'all that you can make $1,000 or $2,000 a month completely on the internet.
Right.
And so with me, just with the personal development, because it plays a big part even on the internet, the personal development on a daily basis gave me the energy and the courage to just keep going. You know, I'd have to give it back to a guy when I say my success has a lot to do with a lot of people that probably don't even know that they influenced me. There was a white guy in our company before we joined TLC. And you know, you would know who I'm talking about. I'm not going to mention his name. And I remember one time he posted something that he got a check for $5,000 for the month. Yep. And you know, I was Czech Republic, and I'm like, wow, what would it be like to make $5,000 a month on the internet, right? And so I'm like, I'm going to do that one day. And if you go on my page, you can see 3 or 4 years ago, I would say stuff like, I can't wait to make $60,000 a year. I cannot wait to make $60,000 a year. People would see me and go, you so annoying with all that posting that you do on Facebook. You know, they used to be like, Stanecia, come on. Like, I had to unfriend you, you know, and I just was so on it with my personal development. I didn't care if you unfriended me, because once I made that choice to be successful, I was going to do whatever it takes to expose myself to multiple people every single day to get me to where I am now, you know. And as you continue to go in this network marketing industry, your network continues to expand. I remember, and I know you can vouch for this, and I'm going to ask you some questions too, because I see you thinking you're going to just ask me. You got a lot to tell people too. But
no, you know, I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes.
I see.
I'm a student.
Know, and aren't we all, right? Yeah. And I remember doing conference calls, Candace, And it would be 2 people on those conference calls. And I would get on that call and I would be, close the door, tell them, close the door, hey, I want to welcome you guys to this call. And it's 2 people on, right? And even in the middle of while I'm talking, I hear the ding, that means someone hung up. So now I got 1 person on, right? But I got the call recording, I have to keep going. And so, it's even always, exciting to me, even how many people that are watching this live, guys. It didn't happen overnight, but it happened, and it had a lot to do, with taking that personal development and applying it. It's the same principles offline. I applied them online to get to where I am. So I know you're going to ask me another question, but let me ask you a question really quick. And so I can take some notes on what you have to say. Now, I was 25 or 26. I'm getting so old. I don't remember how old I was, but I never had a responsibility.
Gosh, you say you're getting so old. You say I'm knocking on 40's door. You are just hitting the cusp of 30. Come on.
I remember one time about last year, I asked Candace how old she was. She said, I'm past halfway to 40. I'm like, Candace, come on, man. You could just
Look, now I tell everybody, Stanecia, I'll be 30. I'm going to be 30. Javon, how old am I going to be? 38?
37.
37. I'm going to be 37. So I'll tell everybody, I'm getting ready to celebrate the 7th anniversary of my 30th birthday.
Well, you don't look that age at all. But, when I started my entrepreneur career, I didn't have any pressure on myself besides urgency. No one was banking on me to take care of them. That was just a goal that I had to, make for sure my mom was retired and all that kind of stuff. But I got a question for you, because mine was, inspiration and motivation and all that kind of stuff. But for the people who are watching that are full-time parents, they have a full-time job. How in the world, because you were in a company with me before we joined TLC as well, how in the world did you manage to make over $500,000 in this one company, which is absolutely amazing? I know you're knocking on, $850,000, $900,000 door, but how with kids, a husband, I know your husband was working before you were able to retire him. What the heck happened for you to be able to make that happen?
It had to be, it goes back to what you said, Stanecia. It had to be a mindset thing. And, where I came from, just coming from corporate America. And it was crazy because, I was loyal to corporate America for over 15 years. And I know it sounds real cliche when I say I was living the American dream, but it was really a nightmare. That truly is what it was. And, I realized that as an entrepreneur, we'll spend 100 hours a week working our own business instead of spending 40 hours a week working somebody else's. And I was okay with that. Because, with being loyal to corporate America, for those who haven't heard my story, about 4 years ago, Javon and I allowed our pride and our ego to get in the way of letting everybody know that we had lost everything. We lost our house, we lost our cars, we lost everything. So when I got introduced to TLC November 23rd of 2014, I was at that point, Stanecia, where I only had a certain number of days when I got into TLC to be able to make X amount of income to keep my home from going to the sheriff's sale. I only had X amount of days to be able to keep my lights on. Like I had shut off notices, pink slips, I had everything. So, it was a decision to, I don't know if you've ever seen the social media status that says grind like the rent's 3 months past due and you got 6 kids to feed.
Yeah, right.
That's pretty much what it was. So I had to make a decision to work hard. I had to make a decision to learn. There was a lot of things that I was learning that I didn't know nothing about this industry, but I had to take time just to sit down and say, okay, if Stanecia Graham is teaching this course on how to build a binary, I'm going to go get this course on how to build a binary. And I knew that if I did not do this, a couple things were going to happen. I was going to lose my house, which meant I was going to have to move back in with my parents or my in-laws. I was going to have to explain this all to my kids. I couldn't give my kids the things that they wanted. So it was just pretty much, I had to take time to learn. And that's what I think the number one thing in direct sales and network marketing is people don't have patience for the process of learning your business to be able to grow.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so let me go, a little deeper than that for you, because I know out of the 131 people, that are watching this live, we've heard, and we're both, and it always goes back to, like you said, it sounds so cliche. Everyone's saying mindset, everyone's saying personal development. And I always tell people, I like to give you a step-by-step instruction of exactly what to do. Okay, so I understand that you were willing to learn. I understand that you were willing to study. I understand all of that. But how did you get here? Like, what was applied? You learned, okay, so they're learning right now. They'll learn. For the people who come into the classes that's been to events, you learn, and there's so many people that are watching this and still feel like it don't work. Like, nothing's changed for me. I've been to every training, I get on every live, and it still doesn't work for me. What is that one gap that has to be filled as a network marketer? And even you, okay, you're 36 or 37, but we're still new to network marketing. There are kings and queens in network marketing that really do this for real. So how in the world did you somehow pass that bridge of just learning to actually having results? What happened?
A lot happened. Like, I say it right now. I say same animal, different beast. So what I meant by that is this: I had to play trial and error with a lot of things. You're going to see a lot of things. You're going to invest in a lot of trainings, and you're going to have to implement certain techniques. But here's what I found is early on, I would get frustrated because I would implement a technique for 3 to 5 days and stop it, where I didn't give it enough time to work. Whenever I fixed my mind to say, Candace, 21 days creates a habit. That's consistency. Let's do it for 21 days to see what happened. Well, I knew that I had to draw some type of consistency, not just in the work, but in the income as well, because with my husband, Javon, I was able to retire him in this business in my first 6 months in, and it created consistency to do it. And why did I want to do it? Like, Javon has went from one extreme to the next to make sure that we were well taken care of, or at least trying to be well taken care of before the stuff hit the fan. So, a lot of people don't know this. He was a police officer in DC for 9 years before we moved back to Pittsburgh. And one of the number one things that I hated and that I dreaded was during the, what's it called? A month of hell in October, when we dealt with the Beltway sniper. I was sitting in front of Bowie Middle School when the little boy named Iran got shot by the sniper. My son, which is now turning 16, I remember having to throw Javon's Kevlar vest over his car seat for us to go grocery shopping. And Javon would say, if the sniper shoots me and I drop, grab the car seat and run. So I knew he went from one extreme to the next. And then the second thing that made me make the decision that I needed to retire my husband was during 9/11, Javon was working a detail at the Pentagon. And at that time, I was pregnant for our first son then. So, when the Pentagon got hit that day, I had no lines of communication with my husband. We were newly married. I think I was only married for about a year at that time. And it was just like, I knew he went from one extreme to the next. So then when we decided to shift gears after dealing with the chaos in DC and we moved back to Pennsylvania, of course, state police jobs did not pay any money out here. You started at like around $30,000, $35,000 a year. And they would make you go wherever in Pennsylvania they wanted you to go. So he decided at that time he was going to go back to school, get his mining technology degree. So now he has more degrees than a thermometer. But he went back and got his mining tech degree and decided to be a foreman in the coal mine, where he made like $150,000 a year. But the problem was he would go underground 700 feet every day. There were mine explosions. There were people getting hurt, people getting killed. It was crazy. So it was just like, I made a decision then that I needed to be consistent to redeem and restore my family, but then to also make sure that the person that I just had 2 children with, he would be here to make sure that we can take care of them together. So it created a lot of consistency. Back to your question, I know I beat it around the bush a little bit, but
no, I like that. I never even knew that about you. So that I like to understand more. So that's good. Keep going, girl.
But it took a lot of consistency. And what I wasn't afraid of early on, Stanecia, was even though I didn't have a lot of excess money, I made a means to be able to invest in different little things, like a lot of the stuff that we get inboxed about on social media. I remember paying one time, I had to save for probably about 4 or 5 months to get a training. That was like $497 for this training. But I knew if I got these tips, it would be life-changing for me. So, it took me to invest in certain things and try it out. And if it didn't work, hey, this is not a cookie cutter industry, so it's not going to fit for everybody.
Right. And because you make 3 points that I just want to hit really quick to show how even because it's a blueprint for success, guys. And I think when you can align yourself with, these three things, me and Candace's life is completely different. I was an athlete. Did you play sports? You probably were like a cheerleader or something. I don't know.
I was cheering you along, girl. Let's go.
Okay. Okay. So it's three things real quick that you have to make for sure, guys, and you know what, real quick, as I get older, I start to have more of appreciation for network marketing. I heard one of my good friends say one time, he was like, stop trying to come up with these cliches, names and sounds for what you do. No, you do network marketing. That's what you do. It's no better industry. We've heard Eric Worre say it, plenty of times. There's no other industry where you could come in with such a low overhead and have an opportunity to literally live an American dream, right? And so even though me and your life is completely different, we come from different backgrounds and all that kind of stuff, three things that we both have in common, right? So the first thing is you had a sense of urgency for your husband, right? And it goes back to that cliche thing people say, what is your why, right? I remember I had heard that for so many times. I'm like, oh, would y'all shut up with that? What is your why? Like, that's a mess. Stop saying that, right?
You got to have a why big enough to make you cry.
Right? Right? But as I get older and as I mature and I understand, my why is my mom. Your why was your husband. If you do not have a why, I was talking to one of my old teammates the other day and I said, if my mom wasn't here, I don't think I would be as motivated as I am. My whole dream of becoming a millionaire and all this kind of stuff, that's for my mother. Your whole urgency that you had to build this business, this was for your family. Now, I know when I have kids, it'll change for me too. But the point is, on that first point, it's that why. Like, why are we doing this? And if you don't know why you're doing this, if you're just intrigued by somebody's post or you like someone's Mercedes that they have and that kind of mess, you'll burn out. Right. Mm-hmm. And I've been inspired and motivated by that crap before, but I don't care too much about that. So we both had a why. Guys, that's one thing that we would ask. What is your why? And not the cliche type, go into it like even when you were just talking, I could feel that that's genuine what you're talking about. What is your why of why you're going to give it everything you got? Candace, me and you even share an emotional similarity, guys. When we first started on the internet, we had internet gang bangers on the internet. I'm talking about harass you and harm you, okay, in real life. And I remember, I used to get up some mornings and it would be 200 comments talking about me. And I'm like, wow, this is so hurtful. But that why kept me going. I don't care what y'all talking about. My mom needs a house. My sister needs to be good. So it kept me motivated. The second thing I always tell people is that successful people know how to operate with a sense of urgency, regardless if they need to or they just want to. So for me, I wanted it. I just wanted to. So if those nights when I was staying up for more than 24 hours, guys, it was an urgency just because I wanted to. Right. Candace had a different sense of urgency, right? And I hear a lot of top leaders have that urgency where you was going to be screwed. Either you was going to work, okay, or you were screwed. So
I was either hustle or be homeless is what I say.
Exactly. And so that's going to put fire behind your butt. I know I've said a lot of extreme things before to my team, but I say this right now, even to the 146 people, that are watching this. And it sounds rough, but I'm from Chicago, so follow me, right? If someone was to put, when I talk about urgency and how important it is, guys, Candace, if I was to put a gun to your head right now, and I say, if you do not bring me 2 to 3 people in this business in the next 24 hours, I'm going to take your kids and your husband from you, and you would never see them again. I want you to go out on that street, and I want you to find 2 people, and you pick a sales, whatever message that you need. And I need 2 people in your organization in the next 24 hours, or it's finished for you. Would you go get your 2 people?
Girl, I would go get you 22 people. Because I'm telling you, when it comes to my husband and my kids, I don't play. So if you want 2, I'm going to get you 22, and I'll get you a cat and a dog to go with it.
So my point is, you know, at that bottom part, it's easier to even sometimes slow down when you get a little bit of success. But for people who are still dreaming for, you know, $500 in a week or $300 a week, what is causing you to operate with the sense of urgency where you simply can't quit? You know what I'm saying? And for me, it was just that push to take care of my mom. For you, it was your husband. For you guys, I don't know what it is, but you have to have some urgency or you'll burn out 100%. You will. And then that third thing, I think, Candace, and you could just tell me this and then I'll let you take it back over, is I think over the process of learning, if you don't have any seed in the ground, do not expect anything to harvest. And you know, I used to say and I was one of those people who hated the rah-rah in network marketing. Like I just could not, but as I get older and I grow a little bit, you know, those events are even seed in the ground. If you do not have any seed in the ground, how in the world could you expect any harvest? And so when you talk about, you know, I did internet classes where I was charging people $250 a ticket, and the people who showed up, right? The people who showed up, you have the right to expect harvest. And, you know, and from a spiritual standpoint, you know, we would say it's prayers and talking to God. From a secular standpoint, you guys will call that the secret and tapping into, you know, a different level. When you put seed in the ground, you have the right to ask for anything. You have the right to ask for anything. And so something else that we have in common, you know, as you go and you put that seed in the ground, your confidence grows on a level, Candace, when you get on the camera, you know, you just got a confidence that I'm sure we didn't start out that way. But over time, as you invest in yourself, as you learn, as you do that development, you know, can't nobody tell me nothing. I don't know about you. I didn't see how you could be kind of, you know, ready to go. Right? But we paid for that confidence. And I literally mean that we paid for that confidence. I even remember how I even got started in TLC. You know, Kenny was in Chicago and I met him at the Hilton, right? And I was trying to get started on the like $40 pack or something like that. And he was like, how much money do you got to get started? And, you know, from him and just seeing his confidence in who he was, I knew I had to find $1,500. I didn't have it, right? But I knew that I had to find it because I understand the principle that if I have seed in the ground, I have the right to ask for anything that I want. And I just think it's crazy, guys. Those three things that I want to hit on, you know, that why, that'll make you cry, that sense of urgency, either because you have to do it or there's something that's inspiring you. And that third thing is to have seed in the ground, you know, and Candace, I'll ask you this question because I know you do your retail thing real heavy. You know, I'm still trying to learn that from all of you guys. Even when it comes to our business in TLC, when people are investing in these products and they're going out and doing all this stuff of sharing it, that is seed in the ground. And I think it has everything to do with where you are today in your business. And I know I'm talking a lot, so let me give you the floor for a second.
No, you good. I'm sitting here taking notes because as you were talking, when you were talking about the why, what I noticed, Stanecia, is a lot of people will say that they have a why, but what they do is they attach it to a monetary figure. My why is I want to go make $1 million. No, that's not your why. What do you want to do with that $1 million? So like, you know, if I could give you the audience, you know, one nugget, really be definitive about what your why is. Like, don't just put, I want to make an extra $1,000 a month. Well, what do you want to do with that $1,000 a month?
Absolutely.
And absolutely. It sounds crazy, but we'll say, you know, paint a picture and tell me, you know, if your goal was $1,000 a month, I would say, you know, Stanecia, paint a picture to me and tell me what life would look like with that extra $1,000 a month. What would you do with it? Because if you're sitting there putting your goal on a monetary figure, here's what I need a lot of people to understand. In network marketing, I commonly hear a lot of people say that they want to make a 6-figure income. Well, statistically, do you know that a 6-figure income, they tell you to give it 3 to 5 years before you even earn that 6-figure income. So if you come into network marketing saying, boom, I want to make a 6-figure income, And month 1, you don't do it. Month 2, you don't do it. Month 3, you're already out the door. So don't attach it to that. Have a short term and have a long term goal as your why. Short term in the first, 30, 60, 90 days. What do you want to accomplish? Then what do you want to accomplish in the next year? So stop attaching your why to a monetary figure. You don't just want to make $1 million. You want to do something with that $1 million. Now, you were talking about sowing the seed, and that's what I had to learn a lot in my business. The Bible even says, sow your seed with expectancy. So, he tells you sow your seed with expectancy. And what I started to do is, as I was sowing seeds, and a lot of people get it wrong where they think, just sowing a seed is money. Let's just say Stanecia may have fell on hard times and I sowed a seed and gave her $500. No, that's not sowing a seed. Tonight, Stanecia, what we're doing is we're actually sowing a seed. And what I got into the habit of doing, I wish I had it right here. I have my notebook that I journal every single night. And the things that I do throughout the day where I share value with somebody, I truly do name that seed. And, I name that seed with the expectancy that I'm going to reap what I have sown. But also when it comes to sowing too, here's what I realized is when people sow seeds, maybe it'll be easier if I paint this analogy like this. If you went out into your backyard and you dug a hole and you dropped a few seeds in it, you turned around and walked back in the house. If you come back out, are you already going to have a plant? Is it going to sprout? Is it going to bear fruit already? No. And that's what a lot of people think. Well, Coach Candace, I'm sowing seeds. Right. You're sowing seeds, but just like a seed that you drop in the ground, it's going to take time for it to come up through the dirt, sprout its little stem and turn into a beautiful flower. So just because you sowed the seed, you have to nurture the seed. You have to water it. You have to give it sunlight, which is happiness, gratitude, give your seed the right stuff for it to be able to grow. So that's what I know you said you were going to ask me a question, but I was sitting there writing notes. From what?
And let me piggyback off of what you said real quick. She said, if you put that seed in the ground and you go outside and you put the seed in the ground outside, you come in the house, turn around and go back out, is there going to be something sprouted yet? And she said, absolutely not, because we know it doesn't happen that fast. But I always tell people, that gratitude is, and you said it, so I'm piggyback. Gratitude, guys, is the seed for more. And so what does that mean for people like, Are we still good? Did we freeze?
No, we're still good.
Okay, we good. Okay. Because gratitude is the seed for more, Candace, what I can think about for not just us, but everyone, that's had some success in network marketing, once you plant that seed, once you attend that event, once you get on these trainings, guys, you're giving us an hour or 2 hours of your time. Once you attend these classes or whatever it is you're doing, you have to somehow operate with gratitude for it in order for something that the gratitude is the water and the sun. And so what do I mean by that? I hear people see stuff like, you told me in 3 or 4 months, if I was to do this, then this would happen. The fact that could even come out your mouth, I know that you were never operating with gratitude, because trust me, I've invested in a lot of stuff and I'm still waiting for it to harvest. But, I haven't cursed my seed. I haven't, over flooded the seed, guys. You have to stay grateful. And how do you stay grateful? Candace, this is the one thing that I see a lot of people in network marketing, they burn out, right? They get tired. They can't keep going. The same person you sign up a month or 2 ago, they're not here anymore. And what happens, the reason why people burn out is because while you said it, I'm piggybacking off you. While you're waiting for your seed to rise, while you're waiting for your seed to harvest, you have to keep paying attention to everything that you're grateful for in order for you to start to even expect more, in order for you start to keep expecting, to eventually live in the abundance. I remember when I was doing social media stuff and I would stay up for literally 2 and 3 days. A lot of people don't even know this. And Candace, I'm sure you've had even, rough times in TLC, because I have too. When I first started TLC, guys, I used to stay up so much. I caught a headache for literally 3 months. I went and got a CAT scan on my brain 5 times because I knew it was a tumor on there or something had to be there. But guys, in the midst of that storm, I still had to find stuff to be grateful for. Yes, I wanted to make $5,000 a week or $10,000 a week, but I was grateful for the one person that signed up for that 7 days.
I know
I
that's
was grateful
right.
for, that first pack of tea that I sold that gave me $20, because I understand that that was seed in the ground. And every time something happened, it was more being put in the ground. And if I could stay grateful and if I could keep myself grateful, that was the energy that I needed to keep on going. And I know that you could share with them too, Candace, for people who, it's like, they don't have any energy left. They don't have any gasoline to keep going in their entrepreneur career. Give them your juice. Give them what it was that you did, applied, or learned, or whatever, to keep going, even in the midst of storms when it wasn't seeming like it was going to go right.
You know what? Honestly, wow, that's a crazy question, because that question can linger on for days when I tell you, because it was, just like you said, just to be thankful at that time to sell a single pack of tea. And a lot of people may be like, I only sold a pack of tea, but the way my family was struggling, girl, I sold a pack of tea. That means I can buy some hamburger, some buns, some cheese. My kids got something to eat, and I was grateful for it. And, sometimes even now, with the level of success that I have seen, and I know where God is actually propelling me to on the next level, I already see it. I feel it. I live it. I breathe it. But I even find myself sometimes, Stanecia, I don't know if I would call it being ungrateful, but I'm like, dog, like I only retailed like $700 in product today. And I have to stop. And I have to say, Candace, only. There was a time where you were only retailing $20 in product. There was a time where you were only retailing absolutely nothing, and you were about to lose everything.
Absolutely.
So, I wish hold on, I'm going to have to find it, because I do have it here, but I have a journal that is actually called, where is my journal at? I'm going to find it and show it to y'all, but I have a journal that is, here it is. It's my grateful journal. So like literally, I will go into my journal and I will write the things that I'm thankful for. I will write just to remind myself of what I'm grateful for, to bring my humility and like level myself, because regardless if, you have earned $500,000, that's not where God's going to take me. He's taking me further, but he's not going to take me there unless I'm grateful for what he's given me already. Because, the Bible even says, that person who is grateful for a few will be a ruler over many. It's just like, I have to be grateful for, and a lot of people don't know this, like in Total Life Changes, there was a shift in the business structure probably about a year and a half ago, because of a couple different launches that were going on and tea going out of business. And, I was one of those ones who I openly admitted that my organization decreased at that point by 75%. And I found myself getting scared. And I was just like, wait a minute, Candace, be grateful for still what you have, because it's not going to be what I'm going to give you. So even though everything went back, the checks went back, I openly admit it. I'm going to be one of them leaders. I'm going to give it to you real. I'm going to be in your face. I'm not going to sit here and lie and tell you my checks did not backslide, because they did. I'm going to openly admit that. And I've done that since day one. But I had to realize at that time, for God to give me increase, I had to be thankful for the decrease that he gave me. I had to realize that. And I'm going to be honest with you, Stanecia. When I was at when I made my first 250,000 in this company in 11 months, I was feeling myself.
Me too.
I was feeling myself. And I realized that, because I was feeling myself, God had to strip me down to nothing. He had to take it all away again to remind me who he was, because I sat there thinking the whole time, I did this. No, what I had to realize was God made sure that I had the means to be able to pay for the training. I had the means to be able to pay for my internet, to build my business online. So he had to take certain things away from me. And that was part of my organization. He had to eliminate things from me for me to remember who he was and what he did, not what I did. Because I even say and I say this in TLC, and I say this respectfully. When I crossed that stage here in a few months for being a documented millionaire. In no disrespect, I got to give complete honor to God, because that is who did it.
Come
That is
on.
who did it. Like God made that possible because
Come on.
he made the trainings possible. He made the funds available to pay for the trainings. He made,
on.
he gave me a certain skill set to be able to utilize. And who am I as a child of God to not use the skill, the gifts, and the tips that he put inside me? Because what everybody got to realize, there's something already inside of you. I just made the decision that I was going to use what he gave me and increase on that. So,
absolutely.
It's
Girl,
a
you
lot.
better preach. You better preach. I got my offering. I'm ready, right? I didn't know. I'm ready. What?
You're like, we about to have benediction.
because I think that everyone can relate to what you're saying. And I can go back to the last company that I was in. We were some of the most arrogant, pompous, prideful people. My mom, I still remember this. And you know what? This is a wake-up call for people to even humble themselves, because you will feel yourself when you get good, but you will get snatched back down. I always tell people, pride comes before destruction. I remember when I first started making $8,500 a month on the internet, and my mom will tell you now, if she was here, she would say, I could not stand Stanecia. Like, I seriously would dread when I seen her coming, because I was feeling myself. And so, like you said, what God will do, though, he'll snatch it all away from you and make you humble yourself. And that's why even, now I'm more aware to say, yeah, I'm good, but I still have to give credit where it's due. It's got a lot of favor that's tied up into that. And so that made me even more, interested in seeking out, how do you get favor? Where does favor come from? What can I do to attract favor in my life? I'm one of few people who will say that a lot of my success comes from paying tithe. And people say, well, you pay tithes, but how are you going to put that on the business? Well, see, what tithing did was it allowed me to have a deeper revelation of what it takes to be good. And one thing that I've learned, like the book of Proverbs say that wisdom is the supreme thing. And so the more that I became obsessed with seeking wisdom, the better I got. But then I got good in a humble way. Because like you said, in the beginning of TLC, you couldn't tell me anything, okay? But you know what? You'll get snatched back down. I had a lot of people leave out my organization too. And you know what? It's part of the game. I always do. If you did it once, you can do it again. I heard one of my teammates say that. If you've done it once, you can do it again. And that's just the exciting thing about knowing where your strength comes from, where your power comes from. We would not be doing any, justice not to give it to Jack and John Lecari. John Lecari, we've had some conversations before, and he just is they just are genuine. I hear people say it, but they just, I don't know. It's just something about TLC where it's been days where I'm like, you know what? I'm sick of network marketing, but in TLC, the love is there so much that you feel you owe it to just be here. You know what I'm saying, Candace? Right. And I've had that conversation with you before, but we talking too much, right? Look,
I got something for you. There was somebody who had commented on here, and I'm trying to scroll up to find it, and I want you to answer this. She said, what was it? She had said her full-time job is getting in the way of her building her business. With a comment like that, what would you say to her?
For me personally, I've never worked in corporate America. Okay, I got fired from every job that I worked. but I'm just gonna keep it one
job. Every job,
literally every single job that I worked, I've gotten fired. Even my mom fired me, like in real life. But this is what I will say. And that's the power of social media, Candace. With her full-time job getting in the way, I guarantee you she picks up that phone and she scrolls on social media while she's at work. So if I was her, what I would do is I would invest in myself to understand how to work this internet so that I have a platform to begin to build on. And, I want to be clear when we talk about, because I consider you to be an online queen too. It's a lot of us that are doing it big on the internet. People think when you say internet, that means that we're never offline. No, that's not what that means. That means that 24/7, my business is active. I don't have to be at a meeting for my business to be active, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to any meetings. But
Right.
when I do go to the meeting, Candace, if we've been posting for 30 days and I finally do decide to do an event and I've been doing my posting the correct way, there'll be 10 to 20 people that'll show up that I didn't even know if I hadn't been on the internet. So for me, what I would tell her to do is to definitely find a way to start making it happen on social media. And you're not going to ever begin to completely make it happen on the internet the way that you could until you slow your butt down and learn so that you can do it. And Absolutely. You can ask anyone that's successful on the internet, they put in that time to understand and to learn in order to get to where they are.
Absolutely. Like when she said that, the first thing that I thought about was the other day I did a collaboration training with Todd Falcone. And one of the things that he said, because that's a common complaint that we get, not a complaint, Absolutely. But a worry that people can't build their business because of their full-time job. And one thing that he said was, analyze how long does it take you to get to work? Do you have a 30-minute commute, an hour commute? What is it? During that 1 hour commute, you need to either be having drive time university, because if you don't build your mind, you can't build your bank account. One. Absolutely. Or Absolutely. If you have a prospect list at that time, an invite list, like you said, maybe an event coming up, you might want to print these names out in bold with the phone number, tape it to your windshield. And as you are driving, you're making the phone calls then, because here's what a lot of people fail to realize. Stanecia, I can honestly say the actual work that I put into my business is probably about 10 to 15 hours a week, the actual work.
Right.
The rest of that is building my pipeline, because a lot of people say 70% of your time should be building your pipeline. Right. Absolutely. So, what I would say to that young lady, and I can't remember her name, is you have a 2 15-minute breaks and a half-hour lunch or an hour lunch. You got a half-hour, 45-minute commute to work. Why don't you say you have a 45-minute commute to work, 45 minutes back? That's an hour and a half right there building your business. Take a half hour out of your lunch. Boom, that's 2 hours a day, 5 days a week. That's 10 hours right there. You're putting in the equivalent amount of hours that we are, but you just have to make sure you're doing the right income producing activities.
I learned that from people might not like it. I learned that from the white people on my team. They're really good at their time management. I know you got 50% of that in your blood, right? So
that's my other half. That's my mama's side. That's my mama's side.
So the time management is everything when you're working a full-time job. And the crazy thing is, I know people when they quit their full-time job, and I'm not telling you to quit, but when they quit their full-time job, their TLC income doubled. Don't quit your full-time job, but I'm just saying, don't quit your full-time job, but I'm just saying, when you learn how to time manage the correct way, it opens up a lot of space for you to actually begin to build that pipeline up like you were talking about. And real quick, because you keep saying stuff that I have so much to say on. Guys, when she's talking about the pipeline, what she's simply talking about is a lot of activity, right? That's going to spark interest for people to come into your business. When she says she's spending 10 to 15 hours, actually building the business, she's not talking about the activity that she's doing to actually get a sign up or to get a sale, right? And so even for me, I tell people, you can look at people's Facebook pages and see like what the message is they're trying to deliver to people. What is it? So, I'll stay up to 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. You might see posts on my page. You know what, Candace? Some days I might not get one like or one inbox from the post that I made on my page, but I guarantee you I won't miss a day doing it, especially in the beginning of my business. Thank God for network marketing, residual income. I'll turn my Facebook off for 7 days and still be good. But the point of what I'm saying,
I know that's right.
That's another conversation. But that activity, guys, what she's saying, people heard me say that too. Build that pipeline up, and you hear it sounds so cliche, consistency. It's real life consistency. One of the biggest problems that people have on social media, though, is that your message is not clear of what you're trying to deliver. If I was to go on Candace's page right now, I would say this chick really has it all together. I don't even, might not even know what she's doing, but you just come across as an extreme professional, authoritative figure. And I can see what your message is, which is that you're going to be able to help me, right? And so that's something that people have to begin to do in the beginning of their internet career, is understand what message you're trying to deliver to people. And all your posts, your flyers, and everything should match up to whatever it is you're trying to help people with, if that makes any sense.
That makes a lot of sense. One thing you kept saying was consistency. And, you know, I always used to write this at the top of my notes every day, like consistency. I still write a to-do list every single day. Like I sent you a message the other day and I said, oh girl, I'm so sorry. My ADD kicked in, because legitly I have it. But, you know, I write myself a to-do list, and then there's a priority part of it, and then there's the to-do part. But I make sure, like, I do not finish my work day unless I have my to-do list marked off for the priority. Anything else can roll over to the next day. But like at the top of that list, I used to write consistency creates curiosity, because when people start seeing constantly post, and here's the thing, curiosity is always going to kill the cat. So if consistency creates curiosity, then curiosity kills the cat. Eventually, they're going to go ahead and say something. And here's what I want people to understand. In the insurance industry, when I was an agent for over 15 years, it took the average person 13 times to get asked for the sale before they made a sale. In network marketing, the statistic is 7. Almost half of the time. So if you constantly get consistent, like if I ask Stanecia Graham to listen to this call and she tells me no, I know statistically I need to ask her 6 more times. But what happens is people burn out or get frustrated because they get told that one no, not realizing your consistency creates curiosity. So the more people see you posting and talking about it, because in the beginning, a lot of new people in this business, in this industry, their friends, family members, and coworkers don't believe them or believe in them. Right. So after they see you constantly posting about your product or your business, and I'm not saying posting 10 to 15 times a day, we'll talk about that. Right. But where consistency creates the curiosity. So just stay consistent with your posts. And like you said, you know, make sure that you're posting your pictures, all of that stuff matches up with the message that you're trying to deliver. And I always recommend get a brand color. So then, like, I know if I see a certain flyer flying around, I can see that flyer before even reading the names on it and know that it's Stanecia.
Know who it is. Exactly. Right. Absolutely.
It's familiarity. So what happens is people start becoming familiar, and then eventually they're going to stop. And instead of scrolling past your flyer, that 7th time, they're going to stop and look and say, oh, she is having another call. Let me dial in and hear.
Let me get on what she's saying.
Right. Yeah. And then before you know it, they're in Stanicia's inbox talking about, look, I saw that stuff that you put up. I get a lot of people who say I snuck on your live or I snuck on your call. Right. That was the 7th time. That was curiosity. So I'm going to say this. I know that we wanted to take some questions for some people. So I want to encourage people to put some questions in the comment section of this Facebook Live so that we can get either myself or Stanecia to answer it. Don't give up on no one. Those no's push me even harder. Okay, so people were just commenting. I know we have about a 20-second delay, so I'm going to wait and see if anybody actually pops in a question, because I'm sure, listen, y'all, if you got the opportunity to ask Stanecia Graham anything right now, y'all better
if you got the opportunity to ask Candace something, ask her right now, okay?
Look, start firing those questions in there in real life. It's crazy. So let's see. But no, you made a valid point just talking about the consistency and, you know, just doing what needs to be done. So everybody's talking about, brand yourself, brand your colors.
Let's talk about that real quick. The branding yourself and branding your colors. At what point do someone have the right to brand themselves, Candace? Let me ask you that. At what point do people have the right to brand themselves? And then I'll piggyback off of what you say. I have a lot of people that ask me questions and say things like, you know, I want to start my own team. I want to start my own stuff. And I always tell people that you could do it, but give me your viewpoints and your thoughts on that whole thing. When you talk about branding and things like that, that's something that I think a lot of people need clarity on, of how to properly do it and all that kind of stuff.
Um, Whenever it comes to how to, honestly, this is my spiel. Right out the gate, you should brand yourself.
Absolutely.
And I say right out the gate because people will buy, join, and do things with people that they like, know, and trust. And
Absolutely.
if you're constantly branding your company, listen, y'all, for those of you guys who are in TLC, I'm not saying don't brand TLC, but what I'm saying
Right.
is TLC spends a lot of money on marketing and branding. They are a known brand. You would always
Right.
be like Stanecia Graham. She is a known brand, which means no matter what she does, when she does it, or how she does it, she is Stanecia Graham. And what I see is a lot of people on social media, not even just TLC, they brand their company. Well, if that was the case, Graham is not, her birth certificate does not say Total Life Changes. Her birth certificate says Stanecia Graham. So I recommend right out the gate to start branding yourself, because then it becomes something familiar that you don't have to worry about building up to at a later date. And once you start building your brand, it's almost like, I don't want to say that it's easier to build a business when you've started to create your own brand, but there is some convenience with it, just because now you are coming out as a known authoritative figure, maybe a known wellness coach. But definitely, like, my number one tip for those of you guys who are on Facebook, if your name does not have your government name, don't put it up there, because it's, and I say that with all seriousness, just because I see people who put up, Stanecia, the Tea Lady Graham, which is cool because it still says Stanecia Graham. But then I see people that say, you know, and this is just jokingly, but I see people who have like, ISOT, big booty, I am, different little things. Like, put your name there, man, because if you want, we said this on the Women's Summit the other day, if you want somebody to throw their credit card at you, put your name on your profile. Have a picture of, like, a legit picture of yourself, not your dog, not your cat, not your fish, not your brother, not your mama, you.
Right. And I think that's something that's important for network marketing. And it goes a lot to do with me, being a part of a team or associated, with the right group of people. You make a point where, when we talk about branding, gas, we're talking about character reveal, right? So when you're talking about character reveal, you know who Candace Byrd Davis is. There was a lady at the event in Las Vegas. She was sitting next to me. I was sitting in the back with my sister. She didn't know who I was, but she knew Candace. So she turns to me and was like, Candace getting a $500,000 ring. And I'm looking at her like, who are you talking to? Like, how you don't know me, right? But the point of what I try to make is, Candace Byrd Davis. So now, if you pay attention to, a lot of leaders and all that kind of stuff, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have your own team or your own network marketing stuff. What we're saying is to reveal the character. Everyone loves the Bible, but the reason why we really love the Bible is because Jesus is there. So right. Every strong company or business or brand, it's a character that you fall in love with. It's not that we love the Chicago Bulls so much. We like Michael Jordan, right? And so the Jordans began to sell a lot because of him, although he was still a part of the Chicago Bulls. Somebody asked you a question, Candace. She said, thank you. Oh, wait. Where is it? I seen it. Candace, other than posting on social media, what else did you do? Did you go beyond social media within your first 2 years?
Other than posting, no. Within my first 2 years, I pretty much did it online and offline. And just like you always say, Stanecia, what you do online, you also do it offline. I'll be honest with you, 99% of my organization was built online. I'm not going to lie about that. Even to this day, the majority of my organization is built online. So I primarily made sure that I built the brand. I set up my Facebook profile correctly, accordingly. I joined certain groups that were niche related to where I'm a football mom. So I joined a football mom group, and I would comment on the other moms' photos of their kids, and they would start to follow me. And I really didn't have to say too much to them, because as they started to follow me or friend me, they would start seeing my post, where I remained consistent with my posting to where I didn't. This is what I see a lot of people do in a product-based business. And I love a product-based business, because I'll tell you, Stanecia, the night that I joined TLC, I was at the GoPro event out in Las Vegas that night. Whenever I got the call from my sponsor, And what made me join was because at the time we were both in a service-based industry. And that day, Eric Worre stood on stage and he said, the people in this room that are making 7 and 8 figures are people who join a product-based business. Well, just because you have a product-based business does not mean that you post your product every 5 minutes. I had to learn to create, Facebook was pretty much my life story. So I had to allow people to see me, see my business, and see my product all at the same time. And that's why when you start getting a good mixture of that, you're going to have less people unfollow you, more people start to follow you because now you seem real. Stanecia does a great job at it. You know, Stanecia will talk about her business, talk about making money online, talk about her products, but ultimately you see Stanecia for who she is, the globe trotter. She's traveling to Jordan and Germany and Iceland and all these other places. And it allows people to see her inner life. And that's what people want to do. Facebook is really like allowing people to see your life. Now, there's a question that said, somebody had said, how do you ensure that your business or your brand has a global appeal? That was Felicity.
Okay. How do you assure that your business or brand have a global appeal? You know, I think that one of the biggest problems that people have is they start too big, right? I read something the other day where, people are saying they want to make $50,000 a year and $100,000 a year. He was like, bring it down a little bit. If you make $50,000 a year at your corporate job, start off and try to get to $20,000 a month, $20,000 a year in the company. That puts you at $70,000 for the year. When you're talking about your brand or your Facebook page, listen, guys, everyone knows when I first started, I was doing something to two for success. I literally meant what I was saying. I wanted everyone to just get 2 people. There's no way I still would need someone to slap me in my face to convince me that everyone cannot get 2 people. So I didn't necessarily care about having a global appeal, guys. And this is something that we're going to talk about on Saturday if you guys are coming to Chicago to hang out with us. I didn't need to appeal globally. I needed to appeal to my avatar and to the group of people that I was talking to. Candace is going to attract a different group of people that I'm going to attract. Donna Cox is going to attract a different group of people than Candace is going to attract. So this is why it's so important to know what you're trying to demonstrate to people or what you're trying to sell, what your message is, and you only need to appeal to them. Guys, the secret on the internet is to be relevant. Anyone that's been to my internet classes, I say you need to be relevant, you need to be omnipresent, and you need to be intimate. Well, how in the world can you be relevant if you don't know exactly who you're talking about? It's impossible to have a global appeal. This is what I think. I think that we have global products, right? I think that anyone wants to lose weight or get healthy, but your brand and the character of who you are, Candace, hey, maybe sometimes you see I've had, mothers with kids that send me messages like, girl, actually, if you had caught me 10 years ago, I'd be able to travel like you are. I can't do it now, right? So maybe my traveling does not appeal to her. You have to understand to appeal to everyone is almost impossible. So then I had someone say, when you're omnipresent guys mean that you're everywhere. If you're not omnipresent to the right person, you're an annoying mosquito to them. But when you're omnipresent to the people who want what you have to offer, guys, now you're going to make a lot of money. It's some people you probably can think of right now, that you see on social media and you look forward to their posts. You look forward to their Facebook statuses because they're relevant to their avatar. So I don't think you could necessarily, have a global character, a character brand, but if you know who you're marketing to, you can be global, a huge, motivation and asset to the people who you are trying to attract. Candace, someone says, all right, someone says, have you ever talked to 500 people in a day and never got a sale? Now, I don't know who's talking to 500 people in a day, but hey.
I've never talked to 500 people in a day. What I will tell you is this, statistically, and I run analytics on my own activity because you always want to know what actions you're doing to produce the most income. And I do know that, you know, whenever I go through my calls and I do my follow-ups, and it's usually about, I'm running between a 15 and 20% ratio on follow-ups for reorders, resales, different little things like that. So I know that if my goal is to hit 10 new customers today, I know I need to reach out to about 200 of them, if that at all were possible, for me to be able to hit that number. So I've never personally talked to 500 people in a day, but I do see somebody who said, Cheryl Booker, she said, what's your take on customer retention and how do you get loyal customers who buy regularly? I'm going to answer that one if you don't mind, Stanecia.
You know I don't mind. You still got to teach me how to retail, okay?
I got you. I got you, boo.
Okay. All right.
But
okay.
Cheryl said, what's your take on customer retention? How do you get loyal customers who buy regularly? Cheryl, one of my number one things is I always am the service to my customer. Here's a couple little tips that I'll give you guys, and I want you guys to go ahead and write them down. Matter of fact, even put them in the comment section. Be the service to your customer. Anytime a customer has an issue with a product or something that you sold to them, one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to ramble off, you know, okay, well, great, I'm sorry you're having that problem, but I'm going to need you to call customer service at 888-813-1898. No. You received a commission from this customer. So you are the person who needs to call customer service and handle it for them, because when you make it convenient for them, they're going to come back and reorder from you. Another thing, specifically for those in the TLC business, if you have a lot of customers going to your TLC website and becoming a customer that way, when you go in and you look at your retail customer orders, there's no way for us to download their names and email addresses in a spreadsheet. So what you do is screenshot it and then go ahead and type all those customers' names, emails on a spreadsheet of your own. So then if you don't have an autoresponder system, so if you don't have the money to invest in an Aweber or MailChimp or anything like that, keep a list of them. And when you put them on the list, put a comma after it. So then what you can do is, if you're running a sale, or if we have a Fun Friday sale, you can send out, copy that whole list with a comma after each email, paste it into your email, into the BCC, blind carbon copy. You can send out one massive email to every customer that you've ever had. I constantly remain in contact with my customers on a weekly basis via email. And then what I do as well, guys, here's how you become great with your customers and have regular buyers. For instance, I'll put it out there. D'Angelo Malcolm made me a lot of money with his transformation. He had lost almost like 89 pounds already. So I take my entire customer list. For instance, those of you guys who don't have an Aweber, I do, but those who don't, copy that whole list, blind carbon copy, send an email out that says, hey, you know, just wanted to touch base with you. I thank you for being a valued customer. Wanted to share something exciting with you today. Boom, put D'Angelo Malcolm's picture in there. This is one of my business partners, D'Angelo Malcolm, who was able to use the T NutriBurst and NRG and lost a total of 89 pounds in such and such days. I'm always here to help you achieve your weight loss goals. Please feel free to respond back to this email and let me know how much weight you want to lose and how fast you want to lose it. You'd be surprised how many people start responding back to that email. And now you have an already buying customer base who is now emailing you back, letting you know, hey, Stanecia, I want that product. So now great, Stanecia, I'm so glad you messaged me back. I know you want to lose 40 pounds in the next 2 months. What time's a good time for us to get on the phone? You get on the phone with that customer and you break down your professionally recommended products that you advise them to use. Take the sale right there. Okay, Stanecia, I gave you this product and I told you about this product. These two products are going to cost about, I don't know, $97.65. So I'm going to go ahead and take your order right now. Will you be paying with Visa, MasterCard, American Express, or Discover? I go right into it. I don't ask them, can we place your order today? Will you be paying by Visa, Master, American Express, or Discover?
I hate when people do that to me, because it'd be like, oh, shoot, I got to still buy it even if I didn't want to.
Yeah, child, you still got to buy it. Like, you done told me you were interested in the product. Now that you're interested in the product, I'm going to take time to break it down to you. And I'm not going to wait until you decide when you want to buy it. I'm going to go ahead and encourage you to buy it right now. That's what I'm
Absolutely.
That's what I'm going to do.
and let me say, you are so funny. And let me say something too, something that's really important, guys, is to when you talk about avatar, somebody said to talk about avatar, you know, I talk about it a lot, but you know the buying habits of the people that you're selling to. You know, this is why we have different people who do extremely well. And I can't vouch for this, but I know how it's being done. You know, we have a lot of people who do extremely well in retail, regardless if it's online or it's offline, right? You can talk about, you know, some people in TLC that make a lot of money offline. And if you look at her market, the buying habits, this is, so I've taken a lot of classes on sales and marketing and this kind of stuff. When you know the buying habits of your avatar, it's easy for you, right? When you know who you're talking to, what they want, like I always say my avatar, a lot of the times, you know, is about a 50-year-old African-American woman. I know them. They don't necessarily want all the ingredients in the product. They want to know how many people have lost weight. They want to see someone go from a 22 to a 16, not a 16 to a 3, right? It's a lot of things that you take in consideration when you know who your avatar is. And it's Candace, I don't know about you, but I feel like I could sell to anybody. Like, put me in a room with anybody, I'm going to get the sale. And if you don't, you got a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just too good for you to turn me down.
I could sell salt to a snail and ice to an Eskimo.
I feel the same exact way, guys, but it's because, and then I have some people when I'm around them that I feel more like, not intimidated, but I just know I don't know their buying habits or what it is they want to hear from me. So it's a different, you know, ball game that we playing. So that's just my take on that. What else they got?
Let's see. Cheryl said, love the 2 for Success system. I'm trying to scroll. My phone went dead, so I'm scrolling from the desktop. If you haven't realized, like, it's taken me a second for it to scroll because these comments are coming up like, wow.
I got one. One girl says, what if a customer doesn't trust you with their credit card information? How do you still process their order?
I'll tell you that. Okay, so they don't want to give you the credit card information over the phone. Everybody should have a PayPal account. And here's why. For those customers who are kind of iffy about giving me their information over the phone, what I do is I say, you know what, Stanecia, no problem. I do actually have a secured checkout option where I can actually send you a private invoice direct to your email or give you a direct link. It's secured through PayPal. So you can go ahead and it'll guarantee your purchase, because PayPal has what they call buyer's protection, which means if somebody actually sent you money, it guarantees that they're going to get the product. So what I'll do is that person who doesn't want to give me their credit card over the phone, no problem, Stanecia. I'll go set their customer account up. I'll set Stanecia's customer account up. I know her total order is $167.93. I'm going to turn around and I'm going to PayPal invoice Stanecia for $169.93 to cover the $2 PayPal charge. It's not quite $2, but just to cover the percentage with PayPal. I send Stanecia this PayPal invoice. She pays the PayPal invoice. PayPal immediately puts it on my PayPal card. So then while I still have her order up in the back office, her payment was just secured through PayPal. Guarantees she's going to get her product. I put her order through the back office using my PayPal card because that's where her money is now. Right. So her order is placed. And then what I do is PayPal, you have to put a tracking number in. So 24 hours later, I'll log back into my customer retail orders. I'll pull up Stanecia Graham's order and it'll give me a United States Postal Service tracking number on it. So I'll copy that tracking number, go back into my PayPal, update her tracking with that number so PayPal can confirm, she got her product. Enough said. Money is all yours, Candace. She got tracking coming straight to her door. But listen, you can make excuses or you can make money, but you can't make both. Sometimes in business as an entrepreneur, you're going to have to find different avenues to go around what people don't want to do. Like people will say, oh, I don't want to give you my social. No problem. I've had somebody tell people before, well, we need your social for an app. No, you only need what is with an asterisk, and a social is not required with an asterisk. No problem, Stanecia. I'll get your application in the system. You don't have to give me your social today. But once we get your application in the system, I'm going to direct you on how to log in and update that because you want to make sure it's there. So in the event that you start making in excess of $600, you want to make sure you're securing your check. No problem. But whenever it comes to money, send them a PayPal invoice. It's a secured link. They know that PayPal has buyer's protection. So it's guaranteeing that they're going to get their order. And then they don't have to feel uncomfortable giving you their credit card number.
Absolutely. Somebody said, how do you keep getting reoccurring customers? So if someone buys one time, how do you get them to continually to keep buying from you?
It's called follow-up. And I know it sounds cliche, but there's fortune in the follow-up. So when somebody buys a product from me, the first thing that I do is I send them an email. And the email will say, for instance, we're going to say Stanecia Graham just purchased a solutions kit from me. I'm going to I just took her customer order, so I have her email address. I'm going to immediately send her an email from my personal email that says, hey, Ms. Graham, thank you so much for being a valued customer. Super excited to see your weight loss results with your newly purchased solution kit. Welcome to the Total Life Changes experience is what I call it. Below, you're going to find some information that I've attached about the products that you purchased. Well, the solution kit, we know it comes with T, NutriBurst, and Resolution. So I'm going to make sure that I go and I put a matter of fact, I might even be able to show you. I'm going to make sure that I actually put a hyperlink, and all I do is type up the email, and I'll go, you know how in the email, Stanecia, you could put Resolution, recommended meal plan, and you can always make it link up. Yeah. So then I just hyperlink, right. So I just hyperlink every document to them, and I'm going to pull it up and show if I can find it. But anyways, I hyperlink everything to them. And then I even did a resolution breakdown video where I send them the resolution breakdown video, the meal plan, one pager out of our back office for every product that they purchase, and let Stanecia know I'm here for your weight loss journey and success. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Signed, appreciatively, Candace Byrd Davis. Then 3 days, what I do is the next thing that I do is I wait to see the date that they received their package. In the back office, you can check retail orders. You could check their confirmation. You know when they get their package. So boom, I know Stanecia gets her package Thursday night or Thursday afternoon. Thursday night, I'm sending Stanecia an email or a phone call. And here's what I'll tell you guys. Don't be upset when Stanecia Graham does not answer her phone as a customer. A lot of customers don't want to be bothered, but what you do is you send them an email and they'll converse back with you through email and text message as well. And that's the way to do it. So then as I start following up with Stanecia and her weight loss goals, I know originally when I had a talk with Stanecia, I asked her 2 questions or 1 question. If you could change 2 things about your health, what would it be? Stanecia told me weight, and Stanecia told me high blood pressure. So I know that I'm going to focus on following up with her to see how much weight she's lost and to see if I've given her the product for high blood pressure, how her high blood pressure is doing. Then whenever it comes right around 21 days, I'm going to follow back up with Stanecia. Stanecia, you've lost about 14 pounds. We got another 22 to go. Just wanted to reach out to you. I want to go ahead and place your order tonight, so we make sure that it's to you within 7 business days before your product runs out. Just give me the okay to go ahead and place your order. And it's follow up.
And I gotta always give it to y'all. The people who retail, you guys are really powerful. Someone said, and I'll answer this one. How do you move from potential customer email to potential customer telephone number? Guys, it's for me, and I can answer this, Candace, maybe you can piggyback off of what I'm going to say. I think that when people start to retail a little bit, you don't lose your shark mentality. And I mean that in the most, not aggressive, but aggressive way. You don't be afraid to ask people anything, don't be afraid. Like Candace said, it wasn't an option if you were buying the product. Once I took the time out to call you, and get on this phone, you're going to buy the products. Now, we mean that in a nice, humble way, but right. Have you ever seen the best salesmen? They're very what people call pushy, right? But if I'm pushing you in a genuine, organic way, it's all good. Don't be afraid that you're going to be like too pushy or annoying on someone. It's so funny because even when we talk about retailing, Candace, and you could vouch for this too. I personally feel it's easy you could get 2 to 3 people a week recruiting on the internet. You could build a team of distributors of 2 to 3 people every single week on the internet if you do what it takes to actually get there. I had someone sign up with me maybe like 2 days ago or something like that, guys. And it's because if you go on my page, I'm going to be flat out blunt with you what the heck I'm trying to get you to do. I'm trying to get you to make, $500. Sometimes I say $1,000 a week. Right. Whatever it is I'm trying to do, don't be afraid to sell freedom to people, because that's what people feel a little safer when they're just going straight on the products. No, stay in shark mode too, and Candace does a great job of that. She's going to talk about freedom to you. She's going to talk about weight loss. Which one do you want? Everyone doesn't want to do the business, but don't be afraid, guys. Don't cover yourself behind just selling products. If you're an entrepreneur and you want residual income and your claim is that you want to retire your family, yes, you can do it straight selling the products. We see a lot of people who are queens and kings of retailing to recruit. There are some people like me, you would get me to join this business by telling me how much money I can make. You're going to get me to join this business by telling me that you got people in your organization that's made $5,000 in a week. That's what I want to hear. So you have to make for sure that you know who you're talking about. And again, like I said, don't be afraid to aggressively go after, say what you want to say. Hey, Stanecia, you want to join the company? Yes or no? If no, move away. You know what I'm saying? I'm just playing. But to have that confidence, right? To be genuine to people and all of that, but to have that confidence, Candace.
Right.
So
you got to have confidence and you got to have posture. So like you said, if they tell me no, listen, I tell my team this all the time. I'm like, tell me yes or tell me no, tell me quick. I got to go. I got to go on to the next, because here it's a numbers game. And in order to hit the goal, you have to go through the numbers. And honestly, guys, a lot of us, we haven't even set up a goal yet. And I'm going to talk about this real quick. But know your goal, because I always say it, if you aim for nothing, you're going to hit it every single time. So like Stanecia said, trying to get people to see that they can make $500 a week or $500 a month or $1,000 a month. If that is your goal, be able to dissect that goal and know that if I want to hit $1,000 a week, I need to make 200, or if I want to hit $1,000 a month, I need to do 250 a week. If I'm doing 250 a week, watch this, that's 13 products in a 7-day period that I need to sell. Now I need to know who my avatar is, like Stanecia said, so I know who's going to be the easiest or the most convenient customer to be able to get these 13 products out. But if you don't even know how many products you got to sell per week, 13 products a week, let's just figure this out. If you're working your business 5 days a week, that means initially you got to sell like 2.3 products a day.
Right.
Know your avatar to hit your 2.3. What happens is we don't even know our avatar. So we're out here just like shooting in the dark, just trying to go for everybody. Everybody is not for you. And one thing that you said was, and I'm going to roll this off. We as distributors, as builders, as field members of the company, we have to stop taking a good customer and making them a bad distributor. Some people are meant to just be your customer.
Absolutely.
There's customers that I would never transition into being an IBO because they are a consistent customer. They have no desire to build a business, but you know what? I have a desire to build a business. So I still appreciate your monthly retail that comes into my household.
Absolutely.
So listen, Stanecia, we've been on here for about an hour and a half, and I know we both got stuff to do. So listen, girl, I'm so excited about April 28th. I don't know if anybody knows about this, but listen, girl, what? April 28th, Stanecia Graham and myself, Chicago, Illinois. We are literally doing a digital domination boot camp. So Stanecia, tell me just a little bit about how this event goes. What are they going to see at this event? What are we going to do? Like, give us a little insight about what's going to happen, because I see a lot of questions and I know a lot of these can be answered at the boot camp.
Yes, I know. And real quick, this guy Keel has been in TLC with me literally since the beginning, and I'm going to shout him out. He's going to be in Chicago, Candace. He asked a really good question. He says, what's a good way to get people to buy product out the back office? 90% of my sales are through hands. Listen, if it's not broke, don't fix it. If something is making you money, don't change. I know you guys probably want to be on the retailer board and all this kind of stuff, but listen, we got new ranks coming out in TLC. It's a lot of stuff that's going where they're making for sure everyone's being acknowledged for the strengths that they have. Everyone, I'm telling you, you have to know your avatar's buying habits. And I know I'm asking this question. Let me answer this real quick. Listen, Keel, keep doing exactly what you're doing. If you make a lot of money offline, then stay offline. We're not telling you to learn online to get sales in the back office. We're telling you to make yourself relevant on the internet so you'll get more sales offline. So I don't think that we need to teach you how to get sales in the back office. I think that if you can purchase $1,000 a month in product and you can literally go hit those streets and sell those products, then that's what you continue to do. And again, I'll say with the new ranks and all that kind of stuff that TLC has coming out, everyone's going to be acknowledged for the strengths that they have. So Justin, and I'm gonna stop right there. But Candace, I'm excited for Chicago. We're gonna have a lot of people there. I'm excited. I got a bunch of people that are flying into the event. Friday, we're gonna hang out. Okay,
yeah.
so
oh my gosh, I get to hang out with Stanecia. Oh my God.
I don't know if you guys have got a up close, not an up close and personal chance to really hang out with me and Candace, but we're gonna be there. We're gonna get there, Friday at around 6. We'll probably start hanging out at around 7 o'clock, guys. Real casual, fun environment. It's not an event, so come hang out with us. Ask us some questions. We're gonna have a good time. It's not business related. And then Saturday morning, we're gonna go into the training. I know some stuff that we could. One thing we want to be clear when we talk about internet marketing, we're not coming to give you a motivational sermon. So I want you to understand, we want you to take handouts with you and understand what you can do to begin to have influence on the internet to have some success. I mean, I think if she's made over $500,000 on the internet, she clearly knows what she's talking about, right? Completely online. You should get there, right? I've had success on the internet. So Saturday, it's from where we at? What's the time? 10 to 4?
I think it's 11. What is it? 10 to 4, 11 to 4. I can't even
10 to
remember.
4. 10 to 4, we're going to be in class and training, in the ballroom. And then after that, me and Candace was talking, we're going to go all hang out together and have a good time and, start this fun that we have in network marketing. I know majority of you guys will probably be obviously from Total Life Changes, but it's going to be a good time. So regardless, if you're looking because you want to get some up close and personal time, with someone like Candace who's had a lot of success, or you just ready to come and just get the knowledge that you need, guys, to start to experience the success, I can guarantee you, I don't know about you, Candace, but I'm sure you can vouch for this. Every time we have events, I've never had someone complain from an event that they've come to when they were with Candace. I've never heard anyone complain for you, and they never complained for me. We'll make for sure that we over deliver for you. So Candace will put the link in this Facebook Live once we finish. I think we want to have like maybe 15 more people at the event, and then we're going to close that off. So we're excited. We don't want a lot of people there because we do want to, be up close and personal with people, Candace. So if you got anything else to add, I'll be quiet.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have been asking us because our ticket sales technically ended on Saturday, and we got an inbox from quite a few people. So we did extend the ticket sales, and we did just open up a couple more spots for that. But I'm excited because for one, I get to hang out with Stanecia Graham and everybody else. That's going to be exciting. But no, it's just, guys, honestly, it's not even just the event because you're going to get so much knowledge from the event. Facebook, Instagram, sales, recruiting, all that stuff, Facebook ads, everything. But then it's just, there's so many nuggets that's going to happen on a Friday night and on a Saturday night where we're just hanging out, chilling, that it just dropped. And it's like, it's just an explosion in your mind at that it clicks and you finally get it.
Exactly. Because I know if we can I know if we can get people retailing like you do through your PayPal, the recruiting. Look, we know what we're doing on the internet. And as a matter of fact, me and Candace was talking about, after we finish this first boot camp, we are launching our business completely fresh, completely new. You're going to see that grind mode that you've seen from us, back in 2014. And me and Candace, we talk quite often and we say, we're ready to take it back up. We're ready to do what we started in the beginning back in 2014. So Candace, we've been on here for like an hour and a half. I'm excited for you to get to Chicago next weekend, and we're going to have a good time. So send Candace a message, send me a message. We'll send you the link, guys. Again, about 15 more people we want at that event. And then Candace, we can close it off.
And I'm going to say it right now. It's, and I'll put it in the comment section, digital domination bootcamp.com. So like we said, just about 15 more, and I'll go and set the Eventbrite ticket to make sure it's 15 more. That's it. Because we want it to be intimate. We want it to be hands-on. And guys, listen, I'm going to tell you guys, if you can, bring your laptop, because there's going to be a lot of stuff that we talk about that you could be doing it right there as we're speaking, real life moving. I do see a couple people saying, see y'all in Chicago. I see a couple people asking when you're going to bring it to North Carolina and Virginia. So we've talked about that. We've talked about it. So just,
Yeah, they'll see a lot of us after this first Chicago event, guys. you guys will see a lot of stuff from me and Candace, you know, and that's the cool thing about network marketing. We're not on the same team, none of that, guys, but that's the power of using everyone's skill set. You put it together, all of us can make a lot of money.
Yes. So listen, y'all, we're going to hop off of here. Stanecia, thank you so much for just jumping on with us tonight. I'm excited to see you here in another week and a half in Chicago, because, you know, we're truly going to impact a lot of people's lives. So on tonight, I thank you. And I got my $1 million check written, so I need some Stanecia Graham nuggets to make sure that I secure this check this year. Okay.
Well, I turn my PayPal into a business verified account. So when you tell me the secrets to get that money rolling in the PayPal, we gonna both be good. Okay.
Let's roll. All
right. I'll talk to you later.
All right. See you guys later. Have a great night.
Bye bye.